Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring my weekly review of Supernatural on the CW. This week we've seen Season 12, Episode 15, which is called Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell. And I really like this episode, actually. Supernatural is one of those shows that never has, a bad episode, but, a few of these episodes this season have, sort of fallen flat or just haven't really clicked the right way for some reason. But we've had others, Celebrating the Life of Asa Fox. Lily Sunder has some regrets, and a couple others like that. I'd have to go through some of my reviews again, but... and this episode is another actually really good one of my favorites of the season. It felt like Supernatural was on again. Like I said, it felt like it really clicked in this episode for me. I don't know if it was just the story, like the case this week, or just how everything else was at play here. I don't know, but it worked. Last week's episode, The Raid, I thought was, pretty good. I gave it an 8.7 out of 10, but honestly, I probably would rate it a little bit lower right now. It's cool to see Alpha Vampire again. I really like any episode involving vampires. But that one just didn't work quite as well, and what they did with the Alpha is kind of a bit disappointing. But this one, with the Hellhound, one of the Hellhounds getting loose turns out to be one of Lucifer's, and it's basically just running rampant. It's not like targeting anyone based off of a deal or anything. So it ends up attacking this couple camping in the woods, and it turns out the girl, she blames herself, for the guy's death because she was trying to break up with him beforehand, but she didn't have the heart to do it at the time, so that's why they're still out there together. Meanwhile, of course, Sam and Dean investigate that, and we see the return of the glasses, so they can see the Hellhound. A lot of people were happy about that. I guess just because of how Jensen and Jared look with them. And meanwhile, we have Crowley, still keeping Lucifer prisoner in the chair, and then when Crowley's gone, to help the boys, look into the Hellhound situation, which does intrigue him. These two servants, basically, they end up going to Lucifer's room and just basically bowing down to him. I'm ready to free him, except one of them starts making demands. And right there, Lucifer's just going to kill him immediately. But Lucifer, again, Mark Pellegrino just does such an awesome job. I love that they brought him back for the role. Although what they said at the end of the episode makes me think that they'll again put him in another body, but... Excuse me, I'm trying to enjoy my Pellegrino Lucifer while I can. He just has done the best when it comes to showing and portraying this personality that he has. With the Rick Springfield thing, it just didn't really work. It was also the writing on was off for the character at the time for some reason, I think. But then this one starts making demands, and then but the other one just says straight up, he just wants to return hell to its glory, basically. And so he's more like a yes man, a good soldier, whereas the guy making demands, he could backstab you at any point, or he thinks too much of himself, basically. So Lucifer kills him, snaps his fingers, poof, and then the other guy gets sort of creepier, a little bit weird with him, and then poof. So that was fun. And then we'll talk about Crowley and Lucifer's confrontation at the end of the episode in a few minutes. But I thought the Hellhound hunt was, pretty fun. It was smart with Sam driving around with the girl so she couldn't be attacked. But then they stop, of course they stop on the road so the Hellhound can track them down, which I thought was a little bit weird, but, we'll roll with it, I guess. Something else I should mention before I forget. The opening of the episode is pretty funny. We have Sam and Dean return from this, some kind of hunt. I guess they just slaughtered a bunch of ghouls or, something along those lines. Dean's covered in blood and guts, and he's just enjoying it. And apparently they used one of their dad's, of course, John's, favorite weapons. It's a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Of course, with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he played John Winchester, and of course he's Negan on The Walking Dead now. So I thought that was a fun little reference, actually, or a not so subtle reference, really. Dean says, "Dad, love this thing." So yeah, maybe on The Walking Dead, it's some kind of a future for Supernatural, and John's been brought back somehow, except he's like being possessed or something, right? So he's Negan, I guess. But yeah, still, I like that shout out to Jeffrey Dean Morgan on The Walking Dead. That was fun. And like I said, I like the Hellhound thing. And of course, they call Crowley, and he tells him it's one of Lucifer's, and it turns out to be distraction, of course, from the servants. When they wanted to talk to Lucifer, they released one of the hounds to distract Crowley and everything. With the glasses, it was nice seeing like that, at least like the outline of the Hellhound. We never actually seen like the full like CG like design of the Hellhound, but it was nice seeing like his basic like build, and it's basically like build and everything. Red eyes, of course. So that was pretty cool for what it was. Of course, Sam was able to stab it and finally kill it. There wasn't really too much of a struggle with it, but I guess that makes sense. They've chased these things off quite a bit since Dean's first death at the end of season 3, or first like real death. When he had to be rescued from hell and everything. Of course, he kind of blurred the lines from it before, but never mind. I'm probably forgetting something as well, but Supernatural's been on for 12 seasons. But yeah, so I did enjoy all of that. And then Crowley and Lucifer's confrontation at the end of the episode. Lucifer's free. He's just ready to put Crowley back in his place again, or just kill him right off the bat. But Crowley, he didn't say he was 2 steps ahead, he's 10 steps ahead. And that whole lock and the collar thing was just for show. It's an accessory, as Crowley says. And apparently he did something to the vessel, the Mark Pellegrino vessel, basically. Just basically warded it up and marked it with a bunch of other things. So Lucifer's kind of like powerless, or he can be controlled in that vessel. So again, we're probably going to see Lucifer put into another body at some point. I would prefer if they just kept it in Mark Pellegrino's permanently. But still, enjoy while it lasts, and it was good that Crowley had that up his sleeve here. I still wish we'd see the red eyes, the red eye power come through with Crowley again. Why hasn't he used that since season 10? I don't know. Anyway, but still that was fun. Crowley's definitely one of the smartest characters on the show, except when Rowena's in his ear sometimes. But even then, he's still a pretty clever guy. So yeah. I really like this episode, and I also like the brief exchange between Sam and Crowley, not Sam and Crowley, Dean and Crowley, about how Crowley's gone soft, and Dean's basically stayed the same. He tries to make all these cracks, and Crowley just knows what he's going to say right away, and I feel like they've rubbed off on both each other, and Dean sort of shivers at that. And the girl they rescued, she said she thought Crowley was a nice guy. He gets a hug from her at the end, and he just says, "I best be going," or something like that. And they actually genuinely thank Crowley, and he doesn't really respond to it, but he just kind of disappears pretty quickly after that. But hopefully that'll help sort of repair some of their issues. I do think Crowley cares about the boys, whether he says it or not. But yeah, so really love this episode. I'm going to give it a 9.1 out of 10. I liked it that much. Got to eat it with pizza when I got home from work tonight, so that was fun too. So let me know you guys thought about this one. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys. I'm going to be seeing Call Skull Island tomorrow on opening day, so I'll probably be putting that review out within the next day or two. But yeah, catch you guys next time. Peace.